Uh, the lecture for today's class will be on serial access memory. So we in the previous lectures we have seen about different kind of RAM, static RAM, and DRAM we have seen, and today we are going to study about a particular kind of memory which is called as a serial access memory. Let us see what is a serial access memory and how it is useful and what are its working functions. So firstly, in computing, this serial access memory is also called as a sequential access memory. You'll understand in the coming slides why it is called as a sequential access memory. First, in computing of any kind of data, this particular serial access memory is also called as a sequential access memory, which is a class of data storage devices. So it's one kind of a storage devices where mainly the data has been read in a sequence. So that's the main reason why it's called a sequential access memory. In detail, we'll study while I'll explain that particular one by taking one example. So now the sequential access memory or else the serial access memory is in contrast to the RAM, where the data can be accessed in any order. It means that in RAM, what happens if you want to fetch a data from a memory, an address will be specified to you, and you'll be fetching a data directly from any of the location from where you want to fetch it in that particular address. So that's what happens in the RAM. In RAM, what you'll be doing, you'll be having some memory. In that particular memory, one address will be there. In that particular address, you need to fetch a particular location data. That can be done directly with the help of RAM. But whereas in this sequential access memory, you cannot access any kind of data from an address in a memory directly. It cannot be done directly. So we can even call this kind of memories as an non-addressable memories. Serial access memories are also called as an non-addressable memories. So now here, this serial access memory or else this sequential access memory can be done in two different ways. One is a normal reading of the data or writing of a data in a serial manner, and the other one is can be done with the help of a magnetic way, in a magnetic way, which is called as an again magnetic SAM. We can call as a magnetic SAM, which is an magnetic serial access memory or sequential access memory. So see now, in sequential access memory, data is read in a sequence. That means accesses can still be made in an arbitrary location by seeking to a requested location. Means in the sequential access memory, data will be accessed in a sequence manner from each and every location, one after the another, where the data can be accessed only one after the another. But when it comes to the random access memory, what happens? You will be accessing a data from whichever the location you want in an address. Directly you can access the data by using RAM. But here it has to happen one after the another. That is called as a sequential access memory. So now this operation, however, is often relatively inefficient because it needs some seek time, and also after that one, the rotational latency will be taking place. A rotational latency will be taking place. So see now, magnetic sequential access memory is typically used for secondary storage purpose in the general purpose registers. In general purpose register, we know that this particular serial access memories where the magnets are being used or the magnetic SAM is being used, there it is used as a secondary storage memory. Compared to the RAM, this particular SAM will be having a higher density at lower cost. It means that you can design a SAM with higher density, means you can fit large number of data components here in this particular SAM, which can be done with the help of cost efficient manner compared to the RAM. And this one is again a non-volatile, and examples of SAM can be hard disk. Hard disk is one of the example. If your SAM, that's a serial access memory or sequential access memory. The CD-ROM is another example of SAM, and magnetic tapes. Magnetic tapes are another example. Or else I'll give one of the best example for the SAM will be I don't know how far you people are you have access to the tape recorders. In the tape recorders, we'll be using the cassettes. Those are called as a magnetic cassettes. So those is again one of the examples of an SAM. So let us see now this particular operation of this serial access memory. In RAM, this is a normal working condition how a RAM and a SAM will be working. So see now, In RAM, what happens once an address is given, it can access the data from any location in that particular address. Means if an address is given to you, you can go to any point in a location in a particular address, and you can access that location's data. It means that in that given memory, any address is given at any location can be accessed directly to that particular location. You can access any location's data in a particular address with respect to RAM. But when it comes to the SAM, what happens? Any address at any location cannot be accessed directly. We cannot access it directly. We are supposed to go one after the other. It means it has to be done serially. So, but it can be accessed sequentially. Means here it cannot be accessed directly, but it can be accessed sequentially. It means that you are going to do it one after the another. So it is called as a sequential manner or serial manner of accessing data is been done in this particular SAM. That is regarding what is meant by SAM and what is meant by this thing. What is this RAM? Now, therefore, it is also called as an, because it is happening sequentially or it is happening serially one after the another, we call this serial access memory as also sequential access memory. SAM is called as non-addressable memory. Why it is called as non-addressable memory? When it comes to the RAM, in the RAM, you can address any point location or any point data at any location in a memory. But when it comes to the SAM, you cannot address directly data from that particular location. If you want a particular data which is situated at one particular location, you cannot fetch the data directly. So that's the reason we call it as a non-addressable memory. So now see here now, this is one example I have given how the read and write operation takes place here in this particular, what is this SAM. So let us see now first in the SAM, if I want to read only one particular data. So see, if this is a structure of a SAM, I'm having the 3 cells over here, cell 1, cell 2, and cell 3. You can see the connections, how they are being done. The first to all the cells where the read line are being connected, the read line is connected, and to all the cells, the write line is connected. And apart from that one, input is connected to the first cell, and all the cells are interconnected through this arrow mark, where it means the data is been sent from one cell to another cell. And ultimately, only the last cell will be producing your output, whether it may be read or it may be write. So let us see how this happens with respect to read operation. Let us see now with respect to read operation. See now, first, if I want this particular data to be read, data which has to be read, then what happens? Since my last cell is connected to the output, whenever a read operation takes place, if I want a read operation to be done, then what happens? Only this particular SAM will be reading the cells output, cells data which is connected to the output. So this third cell is connected to the output. So you'll be getting an output of, after reading, will be only 1. The output which you obtain from the SAM after reading will be 1. That is how the SAM will be working. Whenever if you want to read any data from the SAM, since my output port is connected to the last cell, the output will be reading only this last cell's output, sorry, last cell's data. So that's why, since in this my last cell, I'm having a data is equal to 1, it will be reading only 1 as an output. So afterwards, again, if once if it has been completed, then it goes on reading the next data. So that's how the read operation takes place. So now let us see now write operation. Assume that if I'm trying to input a 0 over here, a new data has been kept at this particular part. If a new data has been kept, what happens? I'm considering this one over here. See now, if a new data has been inputted here, the old data is what? Here 1. So this 1 goes to the next cell. And in the similar way, whenever the new data is inputted in this particular cell 1, that is 0. So now the cell 1's data becomes 0, and the previous data is 1, that is moved to the next cell. So now again, the second cell's data will be sent to this one. So ultimately, anyway, in the read operation, one of the cell has become empty. So now there is a vacant place. This will go and occupy that particular place. So in this manner, once if you try to write a new data, you will get a new cell location data, that is 0, 1, 0. 0, 1, 0 will be the new data which has been stored in the particular SAM. So this is how it happens in this particular operation of a serial access memory or sequential access memory. In a read operation, what happens? It will be reading only the last outputs data, which are it is last cells data which is connected to the output. But when it comes to the write operation, in the write operation, you will be feeding a new data into the first cell. Because my input is connected to the first cell, I'll be feeding a data only to the input first cell. So if I feed a first cell data into the zero as a data into the first cell, then that will go and occupy this one. Before this data is inputted, it has to, we are supposed to make sure that the previous data has been moved to the next cell. And since the third cell is vacant now after reading, the second cell's data goes and stores in the third cell. So ultimately, after writing a new data 0, you'll be having this data in the particular SAM. It is a 3-cell SAM. So 3-bit data has been stored 0, 1, 0. So this is what happens, how the write operation takes place. And another kind of SAM also can be assumed if your output is again connected to the input. If your output is connected to the input, then what happens? The same data is being circulated in this particular SAM. Since if this kind of connection has been done, we call this as a circular SAM. We call it as a circular SAM. It is a circular SAM whenever you connect the output of the particular SAM is connected to a input of a in the SAM. So it is called as a circular SAM. And you might have observed up to now, it is nothing else but the SAM is also called as an shift register. It is also called a shift register. Why? Because it is shifting the data from one cell to another cell. We can even call a SAM as an shift register. And in this case, if the output is connected to the input, I can call it as an circular shift register also. If it is not connected in output is not connected to the input, we call simply as a shift register, where it is shifting a data from one cell to another cell. But if a output is connected to the input, we can even call it as an circular shift register. So this is regarding what is meant by SAM with respect to an ordinary operation. Now let us see in the next case the magnetic kind of operation with respect to the SAM. So see now, this is the magnetic SAM. In the magnetic SAM, what happens? Assume that in this magnetic SAM now we are having a read operation. If I want to do the read operation in the magnetic SAM, this is my cells which are connected. Five bits are there: 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, and this is called as a read write head, where this is a read write head where you can read the data or else you can write the data into this particular SAM. So see now, this magnetic SAM is nothing else but it's like just like a normal magnetic tape, where this tape will be moving. A tape will be moving from left to right. Whenever a tape moves from left to right, first this data comes on the motion of this tape. Whenever a tape moves in this direction, if a tape moves in this direction, then the first data will be 0. So the 0 is outputted over here. The next data, after one step it goes, then after this one, this particular one comes onto the tape, to the edge of the tape. So now this will be outputted, one will be outputted. In this way, sequentially, one after the another cell's data will be outputted on the motion of a magnetic tape. As a tape goes on moving, the cell will be coming to the edge of the tape, and you will be reading that particular data with respect to the cell's location. Okay, this is how ultimately what will be my answer for this one. In the read of magnetic SAM, as a magnetic tape goes on moving, first this will be read, and afterwards 1 will be read, and then 0 is going to be read, and then lastly fourthly this one, and ultimately my output will be this 0 is going to be read. So this is what happens over here in this particular read operation. So this is nothing else but this is the main concept how your tape recorders cassettes will be working. As a cassette tape which goes on moving, you can hear the voice, or you can hear the audio from that particular cassette, or else the same thing happens with respect to any kind of even the tape recorders cassettes. Whenever the cassette tape is moving, you can see the next kind of what are the sound which is recorded in that particular cassette. So now let us see the write operation. In the write operation, what I do is that if I want to write this particular data, if I want to write this particular data into this magnetic SAM. So first see now, This is a read and write head, where from through this read and write head only I'll be inputting my data. Since my first location will be what, this is my first location. So ultimately the first, this bit LSB, so sorry, this leftmost bit will goes and situates in the first cell, and ultimately after that one 0, 0 and 1, and this is how the write operation takes place with respect to magnetic SAM. As a tape goes on moving towards from left to right, the first one will be this particular cell. So the left bit will be going and settling in this first cell, and afterwards the 0 is it, 0 settles over here. The next comes a 0. Afterwards 1 will be settling in the next cell. That's the fourth cell. In the fifth cell will be 0, and simultaneously the sixth cell will be stored with the 0 as a data. In the same way, let me assume that now I'm having another data. Let me take some for the 6 cells. If I'm having 0, 0, 1, 0, 0 and 1, if this is my new data, which has to be written onto this particular magnetic tape with the read write head. I assume that there is a read write head over here. This is a new block I have kept for this particular operation. First will be what, the left has a magnetic tape goes on moving from left to right. The first will be the left data will go and settle over here. 0 will settle here. Afterwards the next one is 0, so the 0 settles over here. The next one is 1, the 1 settles in this particular location. Third location after that it is 0, and the next one is a fifth cell will be stored with 1, and afterwards the sixth cell will be stored with 1. So this will be the new data which is stored in the register. So this is how the memory cell is being written by using the magnetic tape, where this particular operation of read and write with respect to magnetic SAM will be working with respect to the memory tape, and also it will be working with respect to the magnetic tape motion. Whenever the magnetic tape moves from left to right, then only whichever the cell comes first, in that one the leftmost bit of your data will be stored in the first cell. Afterwards the simultaneous bit locations, bits will be stored in the simultaneous cells as a tape moves from left to right. So this is regarding how the SAM will be working. So this is the concept about what is meant by SAM and how the SAM will be working. There's a serial access memory, or else it is also called as a sequential access memory.